Hello everyone and welcome to Through Africa, where we discuss Africa in detail, its history, politics, culture, education, agriculture, and lots more. It is me, your host, Mercy Bambala. Today we analyze the political scene in Burkina Faso and the follow-up of Malawi's just concluded general elections. The story of Burkina Faso is one of grit, determination, and strong willpower. The landlocked country in West Africa has been in the news for quite a while, with many across the world discovering the uniqueness of both the nation and her current leader, Ibrahim Traoré. President Traoré assumed office on October 6, 2022, through a coup d'etat led by military officer Ibrahim Traoré. President at that time, Paul-Henri Sadaogo Damiba, had come to power just 8 months earlier. Burkina Faso as a country borders Mali to the northwest, Niger to the northeast, Benin to the southeast, Togo and Ghana to the southwest, and Ivory Coast to the southwest. With an estimated population of over 23 million, the country has moved from one experiencing a sluggish growth to an exponential development since 2022. In the economic scene, the real per capita GDP growth increased in 2024, and poverty rates have somewhat dropped by about 3 percentage points up to 23.2%, especially in the rural areas. Since occupying office, President Traoré has brought a lot of reforms focused on putting Burkina Faso on the world map, improving the quality of the lives of every Burkinabe, and breaking the country free of inherited colonial mindsets. In 2022, at the age of 34, he became the world's youngest head of state. Since then, he has increasingly distanced the country from France and the ECOWAS, particularly by kicking out their troops, and has also greatly aligned Burkina Faso with Russia and the Wagner Group, as well as Mali and Niger. He also played a major role in the founding of the Alliance of Sahel States, an alliance consisting of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Most recently, the 3 countries which make up the alliance jointly announced withdrawal from the International Criminal Court, which is the ICC. The ICC was accused of transforming itself into an instrument of neocolonialism repression in the hands of imperialism, thus becoming a global example of selective justice. According to official statements, the withdrawal of the countries from the ICC is a sovereign decision. The withdrawal was not unexpected, as the junta leaders were brought to power after military coups in the 3 Sahelian countries. The ICC, based in The Hague, is the world's permanent global tribunal for war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. While many admire his nationalist, Pan-African, and anti-Western views, his charismatic leadership and appeal to young people, many critics point out that the president's authoritarian style of governance, his response to the insurgency in the country, as well as crimes against the humanity, are things that should be noted. In early 2025, the nation witnessed the termination of French troops as relations between France and Burkina Faso deteriorated. Officials claimed it terminated the agreement which allows French forces to be in Burkina Faso. French President Emmanuel Macron, in an annual address to ambassadors in early 2025, said that some African countries had, quote, forgotten to say thank you to France for its interventions, including helping to combat insurgencies in the Sahel. This statement comes after a series of condemning Burkina Faso's decision. Macron had earlier signaled that France would reduce its military presence in Africa, especially in the Sahel. The Burkinabe government has made it clear that ending the military pact with France does not equal ending diplomatic relations. They say they still expect cooperation, but without previous arrangements for French troops on the Burkina soil. Now, following the cutting of ties between two countries, Burkina Faso government has moved to take more control over foreign-owned industrial mines, criminalized homosexuality, dissolved the Independent National Electoral Commission, and transferred election responsibilities to the Interior Ministry. The country continues to make stride under the presidency of Ibrahim Traoré. Many citizens rate the government's handling of the country's affairs, while a large portion still think otherwise. We now move to Malawi, where the just concluded elections have sparked a series of debates on the electoral management and credibility. The elections were held on 16 September 2025 to elect the president, members of the National Assembly, and local government councillors. There were 17 presidential candidates. However, the main contest was between the incumbent president, Lazarus Chakwera, and Peter Mutharika. With significant voter turnout, initial results showed a commanding lead by Peter Mutharika. On the Sunday following the elections, President Lazarus encountered a flop on his last-ditch attempt to block the release of presidential results after the High Court in Lilongwe declined to grant orders halting the declaration of the results. Official results were announced by the Malawi Electoral Commission, declared Peter Mutharika the winner on 24th September. The announcement marks a major political comeback for the 85-year-old, who won by a huge margin. He served as president from 2014 to 2020 when he lost to Chakwera. Mutharika is taking over an economy that is in deep crisis. The official inflation rate is close to 30%. Prior to the announcement, the now former President Chakwera conceded defeat on 24 September, 8 days after the election, in a televised address. He took office with the promise to create 1 million jobs for the unemployed youth and to ensure food security so that all Malawians will have 3 meals a day. His government, unable to deliver on these promises, blamed it on the COVID pandemic and natural disasters. While it highlighted its successes, such as reintroducing train services for the first time in over 3 decades and major road constructions, voters were unconvinced, leading to his defeat. On the other hand, voters seemed to conclude that life was better during Mutharika's first term. He brought down inflation to below 10%, while it rose to 30% under his successor, the defeated President Chakwera. In his campaign, President Mutharika promised to fix the economy and ensure that every household has enough to eat, introduce free secondary education, good governance, amongst many others. Malawians hope that these promises will be actualized. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode. We have discussed Burkina Faso and Malawi. It is still me, your host, Mercy Bamgola. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe and goodbye.